While online shopping might be convenient, some financial experts warn against it, especially with the holiday season ahead of us. And Mike Martinez is here to spoil our fun. I mean, to give us some sound advice that will help us in retirement with our financial security. That's what I meant.
Good morning.
All right, so one of the issues here I know that you talk about is kind of paying some unnecessary fees when you shop online. You have to beware of what your deal really is.
Exactly. So, John, you remember how we have these commercials with this medication, and it's a miracle medication, and when it gets to the end, they have all that disclosure, and they tell you about all the bad stuff and symptoms that can happen. Well, that's what you have to be careful with shopping online. Today, it's a big business, so you got a lot of people getting in and trying to figure out a way to make another dollar. So there could be some charges for shipping, there could be some charges for restocking, and worst of all, sometimes you can't even get a refund back, or you need to accept a credit.
Well, somebody, somebody might be saying, no, Mr. Martinez, I save money by going on, and your argument is that you're increasing spending if you're not careful.
Absolutely. It's the same concept as people going to the casino and they saying, look, I win all the time, but you never find out about all the money they lose. A lot of times people get carried away. It's very easy to just sit there and just keep charging, and before you know it, the bill doesn't come to the end of the month, and now you created a debt.
The debt can really pile up, too.
Yes, it does. And that's why we recommend, look at the brick and mortar stores, go in there and shop, because two things, you're going to get some service. Sometimes we just talked a little bit about your example of having someone explain to you how certain items work and all. Can't get that on the internet.
At the local camera store, you would walk out knowing, how to use the camera, but
correct.
They're not going to do that online, and they're not necessarily going to. I mean, if you get a great deal online, that's fine, but know that if something breaks, you might very well be on your own.
And then you have an added expense trying to ship that back, because the local person is not going to take that item and repair it.
So do you think it overall develops bad habits, is your point? That,
well,
back in the day, if you wanted a new refrigerator, or maybe you don't buy that online, but if you wanted, some new gadget, the time between deciding I want that and making the purchase was a little longer.
Yes, well, it's easy to sit on a sofa today with our favorite beverage and just push a button and start, spending money. Whereas when we go out, if, that old saying, and maybe I'm old-fashioned, if I don't have the money to spend, I'm not going to spend it. Now, don't get me wrong. If something happens and we need to buy something and we know at the end of the month we'll have that extra money to pay off the credit card, that's fine. But most folks get into debt by just charging and not really seeing how much money they're spending.
Well, so that's what this is really about. Don't have a few cocktails and then decide to shop for your HD TV.
Correct. There's nothing wrong with shopping online, but just be careful how you do it, because it could develop a bad habit. But also give your local stores an opportunity. A lot of those stores will match those prices that you could get online, and like you said, have the local service. Easy, if something happens, you can bring it right back to them.
But you shop online sometimes?
A little bit.
A little bit. All right. Mike Martinez.
Thank you.